Have you ever been a clicker? Neither have I. I made a template out of paper and then cut that out and traced it onto foam. Unrelated, but I've also been watching Del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities lately, so I guess I'm just back on my spooky shit. There's no particular pattern to my template, I just made it large enough to be able to cover the top portion of my face. I didn't record cutting the pieces of foam because it would have been boring and you don't really care, you just want to watch the cool stuff. I then used air dry clay to create some texture, again boring, and now we have a puzzle because my labels were covered up by my clay texture. Wasn't really using my noodle to the full capacity there. Some aren't covered, but I mean I can figure it out. It's a fungus. At least I wrote this one upside down, so. Here's what it kind of looks like together. Looks great. I was looking at the two front petals and I felt like it needed that separation line where it looked like it outgrew itself and cracked. Once those were cut out, I used a heat gun to smooth it over. Time to put the danger away. I had to take some safety precautions to protect this table that is not mine. Now we need to paint it to look like our various clicker references, which will probably get me flagged. I like to set up my paints like this because it makes me feel like a tattoo artist, which I most certainly am not. Step 1, paint it all white. I usually would have just sprayed these, but I'm not currently in an area where I can use an airbrush or spray paint of any kind. Ventilation. And let's hope this paint doesn't melt the foam somehow, because I didn't seal this piece. Each petal ended up taking me about an hour each, and there were 8 petals. Now that might be exaggerating, it might have ended up being more towards like the 6-hour mark-ish. But nonetheless, I was surprised how long this piece actually took me to make. If I'm being honest, I feel like it's just been a bit since I've chilled and painted. Although I'm technically working right now, I'm just feeling more in tune with the character I'm trying to create. Not that I'm like growing spores, maybe, but in the sense that it's the first time in a long time that I haven't felt like I'm under some sort of time constraint and I just chose to focus on what I was doing instead of a million tasks all at one time, which is what I have a tendency to do lately. It's definitely not a bad thing, but I was just so focused on this character and I think that's probably why it took me so long. I wanted this to be the best clicker face that I could make to my ability right now. Anyways, enough life insight. Now, normally I would never suggest using regular craft paint on makeup because you absolutely need to use skin-safe products when dealing with makeup. This is actually a mask. I tricked you. Made you look, if you will. My original concept began as makeup, but with a mask, I could put it on my shelf when I'm done. Which, who has a clicker fungus shelf? Not me. But I will. And to be fair, I did actually order teeth on Amazon for this look, but I thought it might make me look like a beaver. But the point of the story is that although maybe not many people have a clicker fungus shelf, I do also have fake human teeth off of Amazon sitting in the kitchen next to a loaf of bread right now, so they're fucking scary. Time to glue all the pieces together and time for some makeup, which is why you are here. I started to apply concealer and then I realized, I did this out of habit, I don't need to do anything on my face. I'm going to cover it. But I was like, I already got it on, so. I then used Made You Look body paints in the colors Ink and Yeti, mixed them together to create a grayish tone, and just splotched it all over my body. For the body, I did consider going all out and continuing the petals down my entire body, but I ran into 2 concerns. 1, I wasn't quite sure how well the weight of the petals would hold up on my skin, and 2, to be honest, I really love the way my face turned out so much that I didn't want to distract away from like the main facial focal point. I went to Target and I got a brown t-shirt which I tore up and made dirty in a vertical video, which is why it's not being shown destroyed here. I'll probably put a little clip in. I ended up having 2 extra petals for my face, so I made them smaller, made underneath where I was gonna put them a pinkish red, kind of to make the skin look a little irritated and just kind of blend the colors together. And I made sure to stick them in areas that would be supported underneath them since they do have a bit of weight to them. The petals aren't heavy, but they are heavy enough to let gravity get the best of them. I then colored my teeth using alcohol activated makeup, which does just brush off as soon as you brush your teeth. In case you're wondering if I can see, I actually can. I left a small hole open in between the center petals when putting it together. Small enough not to be noticeable, but large enough that I have full vision with my right eye. And the mask is just being held on with a ribbon. Now I have become a clicker, and you can too. What a great day.